But would they trade up? Would they stay put? What position would it be? We didn't have to wait very long as it was a swift-moving first round, but it sounded like this when the Saints were on the clock at number 8.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jordyn Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State.
So the betting favorite to be the Saints pick at 8 was the Saints pick at 8. It is, in fact, Jordyn Tyson. And it was fascinating to watch how that top 10 started to materialize, where the Cardinals at 3, of course, it was a 50-50 proposition seemingly with the edge rushers at 2, with Bailey and with Reese. But when the Cardinals stuck at 3 and chose Jeremiah Love, you know I was over the moon. It means the Saints were not being aggressive to go up and get a running back. The Titans at 4 taking Carnell Tate was a bit of a surprise. Many thought they would go defense. They got an offensive weapon to complement their first-round pick of a year ago. Obviously, their starting quarterback, Cam Ward, which meant for New Orleans, you were going to be eyeing either, very likely, Mansour Delane or Jordyn Tyson. Well, Kansas City took that option off the table for New Orleans, trading up to number 6, where they took Mansour Delane. So for the Saints, it was go with the most dynamic receiver available in the draft or find the best defensive player available. That was either going to be Bain, Reuben Bain from Miami, or Caleb Downs. And I think what the Saints did was the right call. But this is all about risk reward. Like, ask yourself this question. This is true in everything in life. If you invest in your 401k or you have your mutual funds or whatever, like whatever your retirement is, do you and there's that sliding scale of, well, how risk averse are you? How risky do you want to be? Like, we all fall on a different part of that chart. Mickey Loomis, when it comes to being an NFL general manager, is more risk tolerant than many. I mean, you can look at teams that very much, Howie Roseman with the Eagles is a brilliant GM, and generally it feels like fleeces people because he does the conservative thing and gets value and gets picks and all that sort of stuff. Mickey Loomis is far more aggressive, and that suits some people's sensibilities, and it doesn't suit others' sensibilities. I mean, we gave you this number a day ago. Since he's been the general manager, the Saints have traded 38 times under Loomis, 38 trades. They've traded back 4. 34 times they've gone up. So this is a risk-reward question with Jordyn Tyson. The risk is very real, and we've all talked about it. This is a guy who had ACL, MCL, PCL surgery in 2022. He's had a broken collarbone. Last year, he struggled with not 1 but 2 hamstring injuries. He's a guy who, when he's on the field, is awesome. The problem is he hasn't always been able to be on the field. Started his career at Colorado in 2022, had the knee injury, missed the entire 2023 season, popped up at Arizona State in 2024 with Sam Leavitt. That was their playoff team, and he went off. 75 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's a big play waiting to happen. Athletically, you're talking about a dude at 6'2", 200 pounds who could fly, leaping ability, all of it. At his best, right, as we talk about risk-reward, if you're looking at what the reward is, the top end, you're talking about a guy that plays the position a lot like Jamar Chase. I'm not saying he's Jamar Chase. Don't go swerve off the road. What I'm saying is this is the caliber of athlete at that position that you drafted. Now, is he going to live up to that and be a true legit number? We'll see. But the risk is you have an injury-prone dude that can't stay on the field. And is it worth the 8th overall pick for a guy that's injury-prone? And so that is the question around that. The question isn't is Jordyn Tyson worthy as a receiver? Is he worthy of the 8th pick? He is. The question is, can he stay healthy, and is it worth the risk because of that? And Kellen Moore, in the post-draft press conference, was asked what made them comfortable with the injury history to take Tyson 8th overall.
I think, obviously guys are going to go through things that they have to navigate. And, for credit to him, he had to navigate a knee, clavicle, the hamstring stuff that he had this year. And he battled through it. And I think that's credit to him, is his willingness to battle. I mean, he hurts his hamstring in this, Texas Tech game, and he makes the plays to basically win the game at the end of the game. And so this guy's a really tough football player. He's battled some things, and I think all that's positive. And, he worked out through this whole process, kind of recovered, and he's in a great place.
I hate that answer, by the way, because he didn't say the thing that you wanted to hear. Because the thing that you and I wanted to hear were from Kellen Moore about Tyson is, we went through the evaluation, understanding his injury history. We did the medical evaluation. We were comfortable with where he is. Like, that's what you wanted to hear. That's not what he told you there. So that he told you about how it's a good thing to go through adversity. Yeah, adversity is a great thing, but adversity doesn't fix your knee. So again, like, I love the player. If you have questions about this because of the injury history, you are right to do that. Now, specifically from let's look at high-end production possibility here. Look at what your receiver room looks like. Jordyn Tyson could be a legit, true number one superstar game-breaking wide receiver, which this franchise has never had. You've had good receivers. You've had talented receivers. You've had productive receivers. You've never had someone that you could say is someone who a team game plans for that guy. Tyson could be that, so I love it. That also frees up Chris Olave more. You've heard me say this for years. Chris Olave is not a number one. I think he is a very, very good number two. He had a 1,000-yard season this year, and he did so because he was fourth in the NFL in targets. They threw the ball at him all the time because you had nobody else to throw the ball to, and so a season where he played in 17 games, you saw productivity there from Chris Olave. He's a good receiver. He's a productive receiver. He's a starting receiver. He's a 1,000-yard receiver. There's a lot of good about Olave. He ain't Jordyn Tyson, who's 6'2", 200 pounds, can fly and can jump. And when you look at the Saints, after Olave last year, your second leading pass catcher was a tight end in Juwan Johnson. Next is Rashid Shaheed, who only played 9 games for you a year ago before you traded him. He was your third leading pass catcher. Fourth was Devon Vele, who had 25 catches on the season, and then Alvin Kamara, and then Brandon Cooks, who you also cut. So the point is, like, you had a whole lot of Kevin Austin and Dante Pettis and Mason Tipton by the end of that season. You now, as you sort of project forward, you can go Jordyn Tyson, Chris Olave, and then Devon Vele, and maybe Jalen Polk, who is the number one receiver. We'll see if he's healthy. And then your tight end room. Like, you have dynamic weapons and depth around your rookie quarterback or your second-year quarterback now in Tyler Shuck. And when you look at the top offenses in the NFL, the number one offense in the NFL last year was the Rams. Well, they got Puka Nacua. The number two offense in the NFL last year was the Dallas Cowboys. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, elite-level receivers. You have to have game breakers in this NFL. So I love the pick. I love the player. I have the same questions and concerns that all of you do about the injuries. If the injury question is mitigated and Jordyn Tyson is healthy and plays in 17 games at his max ability, you got probably the best receiver in the draft, and we're all going to celebrate this for a long time. And I love the fact that the Saints decided to stay put. Now, going into day 2 and day 3 of the draft, there's a lot of other questions that we'll discuss that they got to address. But I love the player. We'll see in time if the pick makes sense because of the injury questions.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.